There we go. Great, thanks. Appreciate it. Good evening, everybody. Meteorologist Keith Gibson here in the First Alert Weather Center. I hope you're doing well on this Sunday. We will allow some folks to gather up on the stream here, and we're going to talk about where we are headed for the next 7 days. If you want to comment in the Facebook chat, I'll try to answer some questions. We're going to talk about the eclipse weather for tomorrow and some milder weather for this week, unlike last week where we had all of the unsettled weather. Winter weather, actually. So right now, let's start out our discussion with First Alert Viper Max and go ahead and show you where we do have some showers. Still some light rain, northern Door County into parts of the UP, and a few more showers building through the Green Bay area. This is really about it for the more widespread activity. This will be out of here as we go throughout the next little while. Really the bark worse than the bite today. We'll take the moisture. It's been pretty dry all year, the exception of last week with the moisture from that winter storm. Anywhere from a trace to over a tenth of an inch of moisture with some of the official reporting stations so far today. And not really a lot of moisture, but that's kind of what we expected. Now, we are getting a little bit of a dry slot to move on in. There are some more showers back to the west, and if you notice the bigger picture here, this is an area of low pressure swirling around the upper Midwest, and this will be influencing our weather for tomorrow and also on Tuesday. Now, we are hoping that there will be a little bit of a dry slot that will feed on into parts of our area for tomorrow afternoon's eclipse here. And let's hope for the best, but more details on that in just a split second. Currently, we are in the 40s across the area. In general, pretty uniform right now. We had some gusty wind prior to the rain. Those winds have died down just a little bit here, so we're getting some occasional gusts like Fond du Lac 26, 29 in Pembine, some occasional gusts over 20 miles per hour. It's still going to be rather breezy as we go throughout the course of the next 24 hours. Now, right now we have southeasterly breezes. That will continue tonight, and then winds will become more southwesterly tomorrow, and that, in theory, should allow us to warm up a little bit more than where we were today, probably some 60s in the Fox Valley. So let's concentrate on the near-term forecast first. A few more showers later on tonight, a fair amount of cloud cover, breezes, lows around 40 degrees or some upper 30s. Now tomorrow, I think we start out with a lot of cloud cover. You will hold on to the clouds north and west of Green Bay in general here, but the areas south and east, we are expecting at least some peaks of sunshine, broken cloud cover, just enough, hopefully, to allow viewing of the partial eclipse for northeastern Wisconsin. Temperatures will be in the 50s and 60s on Monday, warmest from Green Bay south and west, assuming we see a little bit of sunshine here. So that is the near-term forecast. Our hourly planner, though, for tomorrow. Plan on temperatures around 40 degrees or the low 40s when you get ready for that morning commute. A lot of cloud cover, still a little bit breezy by early afternoon. We'll start to expect some broken clouds and a little taste of sunshine, especially south and east of Green Bay and the Fox Valley. So if the farther southeast you live in Wisconsin tomorrow, the better chance you'll have at, better chance you'll have at visibility for the eclipse. If you live north and west and across the North Woods, the UP, not looking good at all for any viewing of the eclipse. And just a reminder here, a refresher for the Green Bay area and in general northeastern Wisconsin, this thing gets started at 12:54. It's going to peak just after 2 o'clock at 2:09, and then it's going to be wrapping up at 3:21. That's how it's going to look across our area. We're going to have about 85% totality in Green Bay. Down towards Fond du Lac, a little bit higher, 86, and up towards Iron Mountain, Michigan, only about 80 or 81%. But if you live north of Green Bay, not really looking too good for viewing the eclipse. And this is how it would look like in northeastern Wisconsin. Just keep in mind, if you look at the sun on any day, including an eclipse day, make sure you have those certified eclipse glasses. You do not want to burn your eyes by staring directly at the sun on any day, even an eclipse day. So predictor still shows a lot of cloud cover when we wake up in the morning at 7 o'clock. But as we get into the early afternoon, this is going to be peak eclipse time just after 2 o'clock. North and west still expect a lot of cloud cover here. So this is probably going to be a bust type of an event. There's always a chance, but I think we have better odds, at least some peaks of sun from the valley south and east, and especially down towards southeastern parts of the state. They may actually have a better chance than we do around here. So I'm going to expand this out just a little bit. The path of totality is not going to occur here, going to occur in our area, obviously. You've probably been hearing about this eclipse for days and weeks, and you may have eclipse fatigue, and I get you. There's a lot of folks talking about this thing, but we are not going to be in totality. That is the swath right here. We will be as close to the total eclipse as central Indiana. There's actually going to be some decent viewing down there, probably up towards Maine, down towards Texas and Arkansas. Still a little bit iffy depending on the cloud cover here. So we'll see how things go, and just see if we can get a little bit of sunshine for this. But this is something I just want to just reiterate here. I'm going to bring this up full. So we're not expecting a lot of excitement here tomorrow. As far as the eclipse, we will have 85% of the sun blocked, but we will still have plenty of daylight. So this is not going to be like the end of days here in northeastern Wisconsin. You may notice a slight dimming effect, especially with some cloud cover. It may look a little different, but it's still going to be plenty light here. You will definitely need the eclipse glasses if you happen to see the sun tomorrow during the situation during the eclipse. Now, in totality, where that path is going to be down towards Indianapolis, that's where there's going to be a couple of minutes of darkness or nighttime effect. And during that, those folks may see a couple of planets like Jupiter or Venus. Those will stand out. You may be able to see Mercury or Saturn or Mars or even a comet if conditions are right. And folks can remove those solar glasses when the moon completely blocks out the sun. That's going to be down towards Indianapolis. Again, not around here. It is going to be down there in central Indiana, southern Illinois, parts of Ohio. That's as close as that is going to be here. So that is a look at the eclipse, and looking past the eclipse, I know that's a big topic of conversation, but that is the big talking point of the start of the week. Looking past the eclipse, though, going into our Monday afternoon and night, we are looking at still a chance for some continuing showers around northeastern Wisconsin. This would be Tuesday morning when we get ready to start the day. On Tuesday, there could be a few showers around, and also a chance for some showers and a lot more cloud cover rolling back in on Tuesday afternoon. This is associated with the area of low pressure that was swirling back to our west. So we will be influenced by the area of low pressure for Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll start to get in between systems here for the middle of the week. If you have any plans this week, I really think Wednesday is going to be the best day of the week as far as reasonable wind, a fair amount of sun, and mild temperatures in the 60s. That's looking like a really good day if you can hopefully get that day off. So that would be the day of the week, the work week, that we would be highlighting for the best weather here. And we'll be sandwiched in between weather makers. Now, later on in the week, we will have a system come on in Thursday. Now, this is going to be a bigger system again, but it's warmer, so there's no snow involved. And it's tracking east, and we'll have the western fringe effects of this. We're going to have some breezes, some clouds, and likely some rain around Thursday, and maybe even into early Friday. But the brunt of this is now looking like it's going to stay to the east. Just don't have any deja vu flashbacks to what happened last week. It's not going to be that. But we will have a chance for some rain and some breezes here Thursday and the Friday morning. And then we're actually going to maybe tap into some very spring-like air by the end of the weekend and early next week. And there are some signs that we could be pushing into the 70s, maybe by next Sunday or Monday. Some forecast guidance wants to take us up to about 80 degrees early next week. We'll see about that. But definitely we will be trending very warm and probably somewhat breezy going into next Sunday into the following Monday. That is just off the 7-day forecast here. But there are some signs that we are potentially looking at some pretty mild weather here. So just looking ahead at the next 7, no snow in the forecast here for the next 7 days. And we are anticipating temperatures into the 50s and 60s tomorrow. And also, a good chunk of this week, we have some 50s and 60s in the forecast. But the best day, I think, is going to be on Wednesday. As you can see, we're highlighting some decent weather, 64 degrees, a decent amount of sunshine. We'll watch out for those breezes and the showers Thursday, Friday, and then slightly cooler there Thursday and Friday, too, as that system swirls to our east. Stephen asking, are we having lows below freezing now? Yeah, we can. For this week, I don't really anticipate any below freezing temperatures, but we're not out of the woods by any means here. So right now, we're thinking we're going to be above freezing for the next week, but we're definitely not looking at the end of the freeze or frost cycle yet. So that's where we stand. But next Sunday, 69, and we'll see what happens from there. I want to show you real quick before I wrap things up here tonight. I just put into my show here. I want to recap our snow season for the Green Bay area for the season. This is pretty wild. So check this out. So here is where we stand as far as snowfall for the season. We caught up a little bit last week. Still down just over 5 inches. Seasonal total 47.1 inches. And what sticks out like a sore thumb is the month of January. I've got the snow accumulation in Green Bay by month there. We started out with that coating of snow on October 31st, Halloween, and January, 22.6. All of that, though, really came in, or most of it came in during the big blizzard we had. So what's interesting to note is that was the biggest storm of the year as far as snow, and the accumulating snow, anything over a trace, just 24 days for the entire winter season. That basically was it. So we have had 47.1 inches in 24 total days, and I think that count was about 157 days from October 31st through yesterday. So just an interesting side note to kind of put I never say never, right? I don't want to jinx myself and say this is it, because we know last year we had the snow on May 1st. But at this point, we are trending in the right direction. We still have a couple of weeks that we could still have some accumulating snow around here. But let's just say that the bulk of the snow for the year is done, barring some catastrophe in the next couple of weeks. And just looking out 2 weeks from this point, I don't see anything that's too problematic, but time will tell. But kind of an interesting side note as we kind of look back on things and close out the winter season. So that's an interesting perspective on how things went this winter. Very odd. And one other thing to note, we basically went up each month from start to finish. We actually had more snow in the last week than we had, well, for a good chunk of November, December, and February combined, which is crazy. So Mother Nature dictates things, and We just get the end result, but that's just an interesting side note there, and just to see how things were working there. So, all right, so that's a quick look at where we are headed for the next week or so. And let me pop up the 7-day in case you missed it. So just to reiterate, if you live south and east of Green Bay tomorrow, better chance of seeing the eclipse. North and west, don't want to write it off completely, but it's not looking too hot there. And for the rest of the week, 50s and 60s, and we should be in pretty good shape this week. We're actually doing okay, and I think we'll be in much better spirits. I did check out the power outage situation. I don't really have it queued up here right now, but things have improved dramatically. There were a few spotty power outages that redeveloped today because of the gusty winds, I think. But the power disruptions that we had from last week basically were wrapped up when I walked into the office today. But there still could be a handful of outages out there, but things have really been put back to where they were prior to last week's storm. So this is where we're headed for the next week, folks. And I'm going to be on the TV tonight at 10 o'clock with the very latest. I'm actually filling in for David Ernst all week long. So I'll see you tomorrow night here. And tomorrow and Tuesday and I think Friday, days off. Bo will be in for me Wednesday, Thursday. So we got a weird fill-in schedule going this week. But we'll make it work, right? And as I mentioned, if you can get Wednesday off, probably the best day of the week. But with those 50s and 60s, still not too bad. So that's where we're headed. Good luck if you're watching the eclipse tomorrow. And don't forget your eclipse glasses if you are going to try to peek at the sun. There are plenty of live streams available. We're going to have one on our website. Many folks will be streaming the event. It starts in Texas, the totality, sometime around 12:30. And our totality, or our peak eclipse, will be just after 2 o'clock with about 85% coverage. Hopefully we can see it. All right, there's a look at your weather this evening, and we'll see you tonight on the TV and all week long. Have a great week.